I get this question many times. How can I start freelancing or get a remote job as a Python developer without any experience, or how could I get an experience and start earning real money? Well, having been a top rated freelancer and having gotten a job as a remote Python developer and someone who has earned in 6 figures cause of Python, I think I'm the perfect guy to answer this question. And in this video, I'll cover the best way to get real world Python experience that will build up your portfolio and help you get started with freelancing or get a remote job as a Python developer. We will actually build a real world project that people are actually looking to pay for, and you can add the project to your portfolio and it will be much more valuable than any clone you see built online. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now, the main thing to get real world Python experience is to build projects that clients are looking to pay for. Cause think about it, why would a person like a founder of a company or a freelancing client, why would he hire you by just seeing your clone projects? Or if he knows you won't add any value, he will always look for someone who has worked on real projects that actually make money for a company. And so our goal is to build a set of real world projects, at least like 4 or 5 of them. We will build one in this video so that you get an idea. So let's get started with building our first project. First thing we want to do is find project ideas that clients are looking to pay for, and what better platform than a freelancing platform to do the same, since on freelancing platforms clients themselves post the project ideas and we can complete them, and these are the real projects that clients are ready to pay for, and you will actually get industry experience after you complete them. So the first step, go to Upwork, then sign up, then we search for our sub niche in Python, which is Python web scraping. Now we will search through various projects that clients have posted and we want to select something that is interesting. Now after searching, I found this project that I think is very interesting and great for a real world web scraping project. It involves scraping reviews from company website like Trustpilot. The client seems authentic since he has paid good amount to other freelancers in past. So let's consider that this client selected us to complete this project and let's tackle it. Later, after creating this project, you can choose similar projects and do them on your own and add them to your portfolio. Now, when you are creating any complex projects, you have a powerful tool at your disposal which will simplify your work or at least create the steps that you need to take one by one to complete that project. And that tool in today's world is AI. And so we take the project requirements and ask AI to create a strategy and steps to complete the project. Perfect. It tells us to examine the website and then use tools like Scrapy or Selenium based on it. Now, I being a data extraction expert, AI is correct. Let's use Scrapy to build this project. If you are new to Scrapy, it's a Python web scraping framework which makes advanced web scraping very easy and allows us to easily integrate any other libraries, then control speed of scraping, then bypass any anti-bot mechanism and anything you would like to do with scraping. Almost every data extraction expert uses Scrapy and it's pretty easy to use. You can even use simpler tools, but since I know Scrapy, I will show how to create a project with it. So let's get started. First step, examining the website. We first go to trustpilot.com and see how we can get to all the companies on the website, so that we go into each of the company and extract all the reviews it has. Now, after examining the website and spending some time on it, I see that they have a page which provides a list of categories and we can access all the companies from there. Great. So we can keep a plan to access this page first. And then we can go into each of the category pages and then we see all the companies on each category page. Now this page as well has pagination on the bottom that we'll need to add in the scraper, and our task as given by the client is to scrape each review from each of the companies and extract all the data that we possibly can from the review. Now when you're extracting data, we also need to check if the website uses JavaScript or not, because if the website uses JavaScript, we will need to use something like a Selenium or Puppeteer along with Scrapy, something like headless browsers which support JavaScript. So we can check that by pressing Ctrl+Shift+P and then disabling JavaScript on the page and check that if page still loads all the data. Now this website does not use JavaScript and so Scrapy alone is enough since we can see all the data with it. So let's just get started with it. So first we do Scrapy start project and then the project name. Then go into the folder. Create the spider by command Scrapy gen spider review scraper. This will create a scrapy project in the directory, and also our main spider will be stored in the spider folder. Now this is where we create the main logic of the spider, and the settings.py file is important as well, since this is where we control the settings of the spider like speed, then anti-bot bypass mechanism in case we get blocked, and more. Now we remove the start request and create our own start request function to control the logic easily. Now let's use scrapy.request. In this function we'll use scrapy.request and pass the starting URL, which is the trust pilot categories page, the first page that we want to scrape data from. Then the callback function where the response will be received, which will be self.pass, and which is where we can write the next part of the logic after the request is completed for that page. Now in the pass function, we first print response.body for testing, like if we are receiving the data from the page correctly or not, the HTML response. Let's test it out. We run scrapy crawl and our spider name, which is review scraper. And shit, we get blocked by the website. And it's actually very common in web scraping, since websites do not like you scraping their website even if it is public data. But don't worry, we have some steps that we can take to get it unblocked. First, we go to settings.py and set robots.txob to false. Then we also add a real user agent that we get from Google, and we'll add it in settings.py. All this we are doing is to mimic real human behavior so that our bot behaves like a human would do. Also, we do not want to harm the website, and so we can reduce the speed by turning on auto throttle in settings.py. Now, when you are doing large scale data extraction, the next step is very important. We need to use something called residential proxies, which means we need to rotate our IP addresses when we are sending requests to the page through our program. Cause if you use the same IP, the website can easily block your IP address if they see large amount of requests. And so a great website that provides quality residential proxies is Nodemaven. We simply go to their website, sign up, and go to proxy setup. Come back to Scrapy, and it allows us to easily integrate proxies in our request by just adding it in parameter called meta. In meta, we'll set the key to proxy and then add the username, password, hostname, and port through a URL that we get from Nodemaven's dashboard. Easy, isn't it? Great. Now let's test it out finally. And perfect, we got unblocked. You can extract data from many of the websites using these settings, and Nodemaven is perfect for large scale data extraction as well. And Nodemaven, being one of my friends, they have also kindly sponsored this video. Now, automation is a game of rat and mice. Websites that you are scraping can easily see your IP address and block it in case they see you that you are getting across multiple pages at once. And so proxies like Nodemaven is essential to prevent getting blocked, and these are actually very inexpensive as well, and actually paid by our clients to integrate it into the program. These proxies will not only help you to get unblocked between multiple requests by changing the IP address, but it will also allow you to scrape from diverse set of locations like any other country. Also, there are many bad proxy providers, and so having a provider with good quality IPs is very essential to increase the success rate of your scraping. And Nodemaven has amazing quality proxies. We can even test this by using an extension like Pixel Scans Proxy Checker, then copying the IP generated by our proxy provider like Nodemaven and pasting them here, and we see the result. Quality of proxies is definitely amazing. So check out Nodemaven, and I will attach a link in description with a prompt code that will give you extra 2 GB proxies on any plan at checkout. Thank you Nodemaven for sponsoring this video. Now that we have got unblocked thanks to our settings and great residential proxies, let's get to scraping the data we need. We reach the category page, and from response HTML code, we have to extract the link of every category so that we can go into each of them to get the company's list. So we open inspect element, check the HTML code of one of the companies, and construct an XPath for it. Now, since the link is in li tag with this class, we start with li and then it's class like this, and then a slash and a tag here. And since we need to extract the href, we add slash @href in the XPath. So the XPath will be this, and as you can see, it's able to identify the elements on the page. We make sure it's gotten all the category elements. We copy the XPath and bring it back to our scrapy code. In scrapy, response has an XPath method which allows us to separate the data, and we'll use the getAll method on it to extract all the links. Great. Then we iterate through each link, and the link we actually got from the element on the page was half relative link. Complete it to pass absolute link to scrapy.request, and so we can join it using response.url.join and then link, and also add the next function, callback function, that we'll be creating, and also our meta containing proxy to stay unblocked. AI actually makes the things very easy for us now since it auto completes a lot of the code. But yeah, we just gotta verify if it's correct or not. Perfect. We now create the next function which will be for individual category page. We add print statements to make sure we are following correct links or solve any issues if we get stuck. Now here as well, AI auto completed the code for us, but I commented it out since I don't know if it's correct or not, but we'll verify. Alright, now we identify the links of company pages, and the XPath as we see for this element would be a tag and its name property value and @href at end to just get href value from element. Perfect. We bring it back, add the XPath to identify the product link and go through each of them to go to the final review page since that's where the data is. And so we create another request for each page. And now creating our final function which will extract the review. AI auto completed the code for us, but I'm not sure if it's correct or not, so let's check. Nah, the XPath is definitely incorrect, but no worries at all, we'll fix it. So we target all the review boxes first so that we get the data from it. We create the XPath by checking out its elements and adding their properties. Okay, we got all the boxes. We add it here. Now, since we'll need to process the boxes, and so I don't need to use getAll method here like previously, cause then I won't be able to use more XPath elements on it to find the inner element. We just leave it as it is and iterate through the box elements to find inner elements. So we iterate through each of the boxes, and our goal is to get data from each review, starting with the name of the reviewer first. And here we'll use .get method since our processing is done and we need text data from it. So we need the rating value, then review text as well, then date of the review and reviewer country as well. All the data that we possibly can from review. So similarly, based on the element and their property or the parent element, we need to create an XPath for each element. You can also use AI to create the XPaths for you by sharing the elements to AI. But yeah, now let's create it ourselves for this page. First, we create the XPath for name, which would be _span, then data consumer name typography, and then at last /text and round brackets. Then for reviews, text. Similarly, we create for review date and reviewer country. This is all based on the property names, and we can create it based on how we find it easier. And at last, we have something called yield in scrapy, which is used to output the data. So we output all the data that we need finally. Perfect, it's done. Now let's test our script. And it's going through each category page, then each company page in it. Amazing. The main scraper thing is done. We can add the company's URL as well to identify which company the reviews belong to. Now, one final thing that is left is to add pagination, since we need the scraper to go through each of the next page to get all the possible data. So first, we identify the next page element, and we see that it contains the URL of the next page, and so we'll create the XPath for it as well. Now, instead of manually checking the number of pages and changing the URL to paginate across various pages, we will just check if the next page element exists or not on the page. And if it does, then we'll get the href value and go to the next page to collect the data. If it doesn't exist, like it will not exist on the last page, then we'll stop. It will stop at last page cause there is no next page element there, or it would be mostly disabled, and we also verify to check it out. Perfect. Now we need to also add pagination to our main reviews page, cause there as well, to get all the reviews we got to go across various pages. And as I checked the page, I saw it's the same logic here as well. So I just copied the logic from our previous function and put it here, and just change the callback function to point to our final function. Perfect. Now it's time to do our final test. In Scrapy, we can also output the data to a file like CSV or JSON by adding it in command like this. Now let's wait. And we see our data again, and it's complete data now. Amazing, isn't it? The program that you created automatically extract thousands of rows of data for you in seconds, and it was taken from a client who was ready to pay for that project. And now you can use the data as you need for good business purposes as well. And we can send the CSV file to a client saying the project got completed successfully and he will pay for us. You can even do more improvements like cleaning the improper data to make it perfect before sharing it with client. Now, similarly, like we did this project, you have to now do 4 more such projects, which will build up your portfolio and will help you get freelancing clients, since it will convince them that you have done similar projects in the past, so that now you can do more of their projects as well. And I would recommend building projects of varying complexity so that you get more experience and you are able to tackle any new project, because you will get stuck and you will try to find a way through it, and you will learn a lot from that experience. And this is actually how I started freelancing as a student during my college time. I also became a top rated freelancer, then got a great remote job after college and have earned in 6 figures. By the way, I am also creating a new project called realworldpy.com, and when you sign up, you will actually get real world Python tasks that when you complete, you will earn real money with it. So in case you are interested to monetize your Python related skills, check out realworldpy.com, and I'll let you now enjoy the main video. And that's it. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and if you did, make sure to check out this video on how I would learn Python if I was starting over in this year. Thanks, and see you in the next video.